Good afternoon and welcome to the November 18th meeting of the Glendale Housing Authority. May we have roll call, please?
Yes. Housing Authority members Ajinyan,
Here.
Karpetian,
Here.
Kasakian,
Here.
Najarian,
Here.
Parazian,
Here.
Cherasatrian, and Vice Chair Butman.
Here. And what is next? We'll take your report.
Yes. The agenda for November 18th, 2025 regular meeting of the Glendale Housing Authority was posted on November 13th, 2025 on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
Okay, and our first and only item?
Our first and only item is the approval of minutes of the Glendale Housing Authority meeting of August 19, 2025. And we
have a card on the minutes?
We have a card on the minutes, yes.
Oh, okay. Why don't you call the speaker up?
The speaker is Beth Brooks. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Yeah, I never commented on the minutes before. I thought it was, interesting to actually read the minutes. But when I did read the minutes, I found that I didn't always come to the Housing Authority meetings anymore because it was like, speaking to a wall. But I saw that there's a proposal that Ellen would like to bring back the Housing Summit, which I thought was very, very interesting to sort of discuss and connect with Burbank and Pasadena and talk about programs we need. And I thought to myself, have you met for all these years and you don't know what programs we need? Are you actually going to have a meeting to discuss what you should know already? This kind of procedural putting action off is so disrespectful to the community. It's so disrespectful. You have no idea. I actually found on Nextdoor, I was looking up somebody I read on Nextdoor, I actually found, I've been talking about this for more than a year. Parental assistance. And to read in the minutes that you need a summit, I think you know what you need to do. I really do. I think it's really time for action. So to read that was very, very disturbing, especially the line in the minutes where, and we will talk about we will basically congratulate ourselves about the good things we did, which actually I actually agree with. But you cannot have people struggling so much and think that you should have a summit. This is not acceptable. And I'm here because I didn't come for a long time. But after reading that, now I'm reactivated now, seriously reactivated. And I'm gonna talk about this on such a level you have no idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Chair Brotman. I understand the frustration that the speaker may feel based on the limited, perhaps, information or understanding. And the idea of the summit was something that I initiated when I was Housing Authority Chair, and the purpose for it, in part, was to have a discussion that includes individuals who are involved in the development of housing, people who are following policy trends from different institutions like USC, UCLA. There's been a number of reports as to, we mentioned here, and I think you and others perhaps brought up the issue of affordability continuously, but also we have people who raise the issue of, well, why aren't we building condominiums, or why can't the construction that is happening in Glendale be higher than 8 stories, right? There's explanations for all of that. There's, I think, an opportunity to have better understanding. One of the places we can do that is here in these forums, but also there's other individuals that we need to work with, understand from. And quite honestly, yes, we should have meetings with our neighboring cities because I believe, and I don't know if staff can confirm this, but in the past, it's been the case that we've built more affordable housing than either of our neighboring cities have. In fact, in the last regional housing needs assessment, Glendale met the requisite number of units that we were supposed to build, and our neighboring cities did not. So it is an opportunity to say, yes, we're doing well, you need to do better. Because otherwise, now we're being forced to build even more density, which is receiving concerned reactions from the community, as you've noted. But we need to have these discussions and have opportunities for people to speak to each other to find out what they're doing and what we can do more of or less of, depending on what our neighbors may be working on. So that's part of it. We welcome all input. I certainly do. But I hope that clarifies it a little bit, and I'm happy to speak more offline. With that, I'll move the minutes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We'll have a roll call.
Authority members Ajinian,
Yes.
Karpetian,
Yes.
Kasakian,
Yes.
Najarian,
Yes.
Parazian,
Yes.
Chair Asatian, and Vice Chair Brotman.
Yes. And what is next?
Next is oral communications. Discussion is limited to items not a part of this agenda. Each speaker is allowed 5 minutes. Members of the Housing Authority may question or respond to the speaker, but there will be no debate or decision. The matter may be referred to staff through the Executive Director for Investigation and Report. We do have one speaker on this item.
Okay. Let's hear from the speaker.
Beth Brooks. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. I did read the minutes. I do know everything you said. I would say that what I am talking about is rental assistance. I am talking that you have to talk to renters. You have to have a renter's commission. You have to have a renter's commission. This is not it. Even if you have renters here, this is not it. People need help. They need help because the compounding is killing them. The $1,000 that they paid years ago, that was 8% or 9%. When you add it every year, it's becoming untenable. People can't go on. And I know you don't want to entertain the idea of giving a basic universal income, I know, but you know what, at this point, for people who do not have the opportunity to go to work anymore, who are disabled, who are elderly, you need to help them. It's out of control. 8% is too much. I know that mom and pop landlords, I feel for them. I really do. People have spoken to me about that, who are people I respect, who I consider, brilliant and wonderful and caring people. And they're like, no, this is going to hurt us. We own property. This is very hard for us. But you have to understand that at a certain point, we have to freeze and go, what are we all doing? It's like the train keeps going, but we don't know where we're going. And I do think one of those things is a rental registry. And I will tell you what I think about that. I actually think you should have a rental registry, and the fee should be $1. You should have landlords pay $1, because I think the most important thing is to register the units. Not even to get the money yet, which I think could be a penalty if you're not registering. That's where you get the money, because everybody keeps saying to me, no, but they'll pass it on to the renters, they'll pass it on to, make it $1, make it 50 cents, make it $5. It doesn't matter. You need the information, okay? Less than you need the money. You need the money, but you need the information. We need to know what is going on Central and Brand. That AMLI, AMLI, that's all corporate housing. What is happening there? Are there Airbnbs there? Is there short-term housing? Because we keep saying we need housing. We have it, and people aren't going in there. So, and what people don't notice either is that just because we don't have racial gentrification, we're having gentrification. If you look at the census map that was in, I think, for the next meeting of income, most of Glendale, below Kenneth and below Glenwood, is low income and very low income, and then a little pocket of extremely low income. So those developments are actually going to push out everybody who lives under there. So just because you don't notice it, like, I grew up in New York. My father was a real estate agent in Harlem. Like, I know what gentrification is. And you don't notice it here in the same way because it's not so evident. So I'm telling you, this is a serious issue. You need a renter's commission. You need a rental registry for $1. You could put in a high penalty. I think that would actually get more compliance. And that's what I would say. I think you really have to, and I think you do have to cap the rent increases the way Burbank just did. I do, but I think it should be very temporary, and you have to be careful of evictions. And I have a lot to say about, that there hasn't been rental assistance except for the money coming from the county, which I found that your decision on that was very bad. I actually don't agree with giving 6 months of money to people who have eviction notices. I think you could pay 1 month, and that's it, because if you can't get your act together after that, unless there was something serious that happened to you, because I know that that's Mr. Brotman's big thing about, paying off evictions, 6 months, you're incentivizing people to not pay their rent. I struggle to pay my rent, but I pay my rent. You cannot incentivize people to take advantage of a system if you make it easy for them. So as much as I am a renter's advocate, I am very, very much against that. And I am only in favor of helping the worst cases. And those would be people who really, really cannot help themselves. If you're able-bodied, you know, get to work. I'm sorry, and if you're not able-bodied, you need to help the people who really cannot help themselves. And that's what I'm talking about. I know what the summit was. I did read the minutes. I do try to educate myself about that. You know that. You know me. I'm not, I mean, I can go on, for hours reading too much. But, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay. Next.
Next is authority member and staff comments.
Comments from my colleagues? No. Comments, we will move on to adjournment.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
Okay, we are adjourned.